Hello, good morning everyone, or good day. I guess it's in the afternoon there in the Philippines. How are you all doing? It's nice to see you all. That's great. Ariel, maybe we can get people a little bit more closer so I can see everyone on the camera. Is that possible? Maybe we can start that way and then I can see everyone. Today we're just going to do a nice little light introduction to the wisdom of Kabbalah, and then we can be a bit more active and we can get to know each other, and hopefully you'll get an idea of what the wisdom of Kabbalah is. I know Ariel did a brief introduction and he's been studying with us for a while, so maybe what we can do is go a little deeper into understanding about why everything happens to us in life. Actually, that's actually the big question for all of us, isn't it? To understand really what is happening to us in our lives. What's the meaning of our lives? And why we can't really be happy in life. Everybody's asking that question nowadays. We look around the world, and every day we want to have a better day, a better life, a better future. But when we see the world and we see what's happening in and around the world, we begin to understand that life isn't very fulfilling. We begin to understand that even though we might have everything in life we need, we just can't seem to be really happy inside or fulfilled inside. We're always, missing something out in life. And what the wisdom of Kabbalah is a way to bring everyone actually to a state of fulfillment. Being fulfilled can be being happy. It can be having a great life. And that's what the wisdom of Kabbalah is really about. Is that you guys we all want to be happy, right? Is that correct? Yes? No? Okay. And the wisdom of Kabbalah, what the wisdom of Kabbalah does is to give the person this understanding, about what life is really all about. And the more understanding we have, actually we can be happier. And this is the whole idea of the wisdom. As it talks about, there we go, oh great, we're getting closer. And the wisdom of Kabbalah, what talks about is how we can all come to this understanding about how we can be happy in life. That's better, now I can see everybody. Wonderful. That's great. Okay, cool. I can see everybody. It's looking good. Okay. Right. So it's good to see you all again. And if I wanted to just carry on from there, and the wisdom of Kabbalah explains to us why everything happens to us in life. And in fact, all of humanity's biggest problem is that we don't understand why things happen. So for example, today we could be having a really good day, everything could be great, and all of a sudden tomorrow something negative happens and we just don't know why. Everything was going so well. Why now do I have to have this problem? Why now is the world going through all kinds of problems? Why is my life all of a sudden changed because something negative happened? And because we don't understand what's happening in life, we have this big dilemma. And we have this big internal question inside of us. Because we just don't know what's going on with life. And the wisdom of Kabbalah is precisely directed at answering this question. Why is my life like this? Why is the world like this? Why are my children like this? Why am I not, able to be happy in life? Why am I having problems with my friends? Why do I have problems in business, at work, with family, with my health? Everything that happens in this world. And because we just can't solve them, because one thing comes after another, it's a problem. And it's a problem for all of us. So a person really starts to look around in life to find a solution to these problems, to our life problems. And finding solutions starts to come by a person searching. So we start to search, we start to look for how we can solve our problems in life. because we don't know what to do with them. And we don't know what's going to happen the next moment. I mean, forget the next day or the next year. We just don't know what's going to happen the next second. So all of that is a big problem for humanity, because we just have this big question mark in our head all the time. We want to plan ahead. We want to see our future. We want to see a good future, in fact. But we just can't seem to see anything. And even if I do make a plan for tomorrow or next week or next year, I see that I don't really get what I exactly planned. You know, all the plans we end up doing seem to just not be what I expected. So in life, all of humanity, all of us around the world, are going through this general shake-up. Problems personally, and also problems in our country, and also problems in the world. So all of us are like in one soup pot, okay, in one big dish, and it's like we're all cooking inside. And there's no getting out of it because we're all here. So we have to find a solution to our problems in life. And the wisdom of Kabbalah comes precisely to answer all these questions. The wisdom of Kabbalah directs us to, first of all, understanding our nature. Because the beginning of all our problems is because we don't really understand our own nature. I don't understand who I am. I don't understand who is me in this life, in this world. Tomorrow I might die, and that's it. We just don't know. So it's very important for a person who wants to take care of his own life or her own life to really understand what he or her nature is. And Kabbalists start by really describing to us what our nature is, so we can really understand where we can be happy and where we really cannot be happy. And this is the whole wisdom. Now, Ariel probably talked to you about where the wisdom comes from. It's a very, very old wisdom. And this wisdom is so old that it is really before any of the religions that we know about in terms of the main religions. It's very, very old. And it comes from a man called Adam. You guys heard about Adam? Yes? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But Adam was just an ordinary guy, just like any of us. So you guys are sitting here. And Adam was also, in those days, that's 5,778 years ago, he was also sitting down and wondering what the meaning of my life is. Why am I living? Simply because Adam looked at his life and he saw that, everything that they were going through in life wasn't any different than how animals live. He looked at life, he says, well, animals live just like we do as well. I mean, ants, they're working all day to collect food. The bees are working all day to collect their food. All the animals are running after their food to feed themselves. And Adam thought, well, we're feeding ourselves, and we're multiplying just like animals do, and then we're dying just like animals are dying. So he said to himself, well, what's the whole point? What's the whole idea here? What's going on? So because Adam was the first person who was really investigating the meaning of life, he's called the first man. The first man doesn't mean the first person walking on two legs. That's not first man. Okay? Adam is called a man because he's called human, Adam, because he's the first person to ask about the meaning of life. What are we doing here? What's going to happen to us tomorrow? I'm living like an ant. Anything can happen. When we walk, sometimes we unknowingly step on an ant and the ant dies. And we look at our lives, we're walking around on the street, and sometimes life just steps on us. just like an ant. So we don't know what's going on. And Adam was the first guy to discover that all of us have a nature which is very limited. And also, all of us can have another nature which can be beyond our sensations of this world. So we can actually learn to live beyond how animals are living. And Adam was the first guy to discover this. So in religious books they say he was the first man created, but first man means the first person to discover that there's a force behind nature that created everything, that governs everything, and a person who can feel that force is called human. He's called Adam. That's where the name comes from. So it has nothing to do with anyone just walking on two legs. When we're living in our two legs, you know what, when we're walking just like normal humans, we're really not much different than any other animal, are we? I mean, how are we living our lives? We work in order to buy food, clothing, we pay our rent. Hopefully we'll have a good pension, all right? We hope, okay? And then we pass away from life. And that's not really different to how, like I said, animals live. What makes us special, though, what makes all of us very special, is that we have an ability that animals don't have. But we need to learn how to use it. And this wisdom shows us how we can use this special trait, this special ability, this special talent that all of us have, so that we can feel our lives beyond this animalistic life, while also having a good life here. Okay, because we don't want to have a bad life here, right? We want to have a good life here. I do anyway. Okay. So the wisdom of Kabbalah needs to show us, well, shows us, not needs to, it does show us how we can all have a good life in this life and also attain a higher level of existence, a higher level of consciousness, so that we can actually feel life beyond our body. So we don't have to be restricted to our corporeal body. This is the whole essence of the wisdom of Kabbalah. Up to here, do you guys have any questions? Are we all good? So far, am I clear? Everything is okay? Do we have a lot of delay in the transmission? Okay. Okay. Maybe you guys can watch us on Zoom. If you watch us on Zoom, there won't be a delay. Are you able to watch us on Zoom? Because on YouTube, I think we have a delay. Maybe you can watch us on Zoom so I can, we can be more connected and there won't be a delay. Yeah? Are we okay to do that? Can we do that, Ariel? Is that good to do?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We are in Zoom now.
Okay, great. Lovely. Okay, so it's good that we don't have a delay, so we can kind of go in sync together. How's everyone? How are you guys doing? You having a good Saturday? Yeah? Okay, great. Great, lovely. Okay, good to see you all, first of all. Good to see new friends from Philippines. Hopefully we'll have more friends from the Philippines. When Ariel asked me to do a lecture for the Philippines, I was very, very happy. I was very honored because we don't have a group of friends in the Philippines. So it was very, very delightful to hear that there are people there. I actually have a few friends, friends from the Philippines here in Israel. They live here and they work here, but we never really had a bunch of friends from the Philippines watching. So it's a great honor. Thank you very much for coming. And it's really nice to see you all. Up to here, are we okay with the definition of the wisdom of Kabbalah? Are you guys okay with that? Am I, anything you want to ask about what the wisdom of Kabbalah is all about? If not, I can carry on. But if you have a question, let's agree, right? If you guys have a question at any time, just raise your hands up, okay? And I'll stop and you can ask, because we can do on Zoom, we're going to be very connected on time, okay? So I'll carry on talking. If you have a question, just feel free to ask whatever you like about the wisdom of Kabbalah. Okay, so let's carry on then. Now the wisdom of Kabbalah, after Adam developed it, and Adam became able to feel that there was this force governing everything, he began to teach, because he understood that there is a purpose to life. And our biggest problem in life, which was Adam's problem as well, right? Adam was just like us. Any of us sitting here asking about the wisdom of life is exactly how Adam was thinking. So Adam thought to himself, there must be a purpose to our life. You know, if we're created, if we're living here, there must be some reason that we are here. And there must be somebody that created us, because Adam was sure, just like we can be sure, that we didn't create ourselves. You know, we just born from our mothers and our fathers, and we're born, we could be born anywhere. You guys were born in the Philippines. I was born in Turkey. I'm Turkish originally. And all of a sudden, you know, we're just in this world. We're growing up. We don't know how it happened. We don't know what's going to happen either. So Adam had the same thought. He was like, what's going on? So after he really researched life from the laws of nature, he discovered that there is a creator, a force. And that force created us, and that force has a goal. It has a mission. Okay, sometimes we have goals in life, and this creator also has a goal in life. He has a mission. And his mission is to make all of us great, just like he's great. Now in life we might not feel so great, because, you know, our lives are like a dream. You know, all of a sudden we're 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old. Life just goes by like a movie, you know? And when Adam discovered that there's a purpose to life, he began to teach his children, and he began to teach the people around him that there's a purpose to life, and we must come to that purpose. And life will actually bring us to that purpose, but if we could do it on our own, that would be great. Okay? And that was what Adam was teaching. So some people started to learn the wisdom of Kabbalah, or the wisdom of nature. We could call Kabbalah also the laws of nature. And also, he began to teach, and those after him taught others. And this is how the wisdom developed. Because it only started with one person teaching one or two people around him, it started very small. And afterwards we came to the times of Babylon. Now Babylon is like the world today. Okay, you know, they talk about the world today, it's like a global village. There's people from everywhere. Like I'm Turkish, I live in Israel. Here there are people from the US, people from Europe, Russia, from the Philippines, China. I mean, little tiny Israel has like people from all around the world. And every country nowadays, if you look at them, every country has a lot of people from all around the world. And this is how Babylon was also. Babylon was the first civilization where for the first time all the tribes, all the big families got together and they became like a nation. Okay, it's like New York, you know, there's everybody from everywhere around the world, and that's it. It's like a big cooking pot, and everybody's cooking in that pot. And that's how Babylon is, and that's how the world is today. And because everybody, you know, more or less, because we're all connected onto internet, we all know what's going on around the world. So you see that something happens around the world, it also affects us. It affects everyone. Recently there was, there's big fires right now in California. There are big fires in Australia. Everything is happening everywhere. And I also heard, unfortunately, there was a fire in the Philippines as well, I think a few weeks ago. You see, everything around the world happens to everyone. So all of us are in this big cooking pot, cooking together to come to the purpose of life. Now, there are two ways to come to the purpose of life, and this is why in Babylon, Abraham wanted so much to teach everyone about the purpose of life, because he looked at life just like Adam did. He said, well, if we have to get to a goal and to achieve this goal of becoming great, like this Creator, there are two ways to go about it. One way to go about it is if I just flow with life. If I just go with the currents of life, I flow with my day-to-day life, I can still get there. But if you look at the world, that path is very confusing, because we don't understand what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't understand how the world's going to change tomorrow. That kind of life is like how an animal lives, just doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So Abraham taught to the people in Babylon, whoever wanted to listen to him, he said, listen guys, the best way to go forward is if we try and make an effort to understand our lives. Because if we make an effort to understand life, then I can cope with the problems of life easily. I don't have to be, I don't have to go through stress, anxiety. I don't have to go through all these psychological problems, depression. And I don't have to be stuck in a box, afraid of what's going to happen tomorrow. And this was his teaching. And when he started to teach, people listened to him, and the wisdom of Kabbalah developed from there on. And for thousands of years, it has been developing, and groups have been studying around the world. And especially now, in our time, from the beginning of the 20th century, a lot of people are asking about the meaning of life. And the reason we're asking for meaning of life is there's a law in nature. The most important law in nature we have to know is this, okay? I can use this right here? Okay. Now, the most important law in nature is this. All of us, every human being, every animal, including plants, are all a desire to receive pleasure. This is our desire. And all of us want to receive pleasure. We want to be happy in life. Do you guys agree? Yeah, this is our life, right? We want to be happy. We want to wake up every morning and we want to have a good day. We want to have a good tomorrow. We want to have a good life. This is how we are born. And this is great. Because according to the laws of nature, if this is our nature, if we want to be happy every day, and that's naturally what comes to us, this is great because this must be the goal of life. Right? Is that logical? If I want to be happy in life, then this must be the purpose of life. So Adam thought, okay, great, but how can I be happy in life? So the question is, how can I be happy? How to be happy? Now, the problem with this nature is this, okay? This is a good nature, but there's a problem with it. Every time I get what I want in life, what happens is the pleasure cancels the desire. They cancel each other out, okay? Let's say I'm hungry. I'm really, really hungry today. And what's your favorite food in the Philippines?
Adobo.
Huh?
Adobo.
Adobo. Okay, did I pronounce that right? Okay, so that's your favorite food. Let's say I'm really hungry and I really want a big plate of that. It's great. And my mum makes it perfectly, okay? So I came home, my mum prepared it for me, or my wife prepared it for me, and it's on the table. I had a busy day. Now, the moment I start eating, the most tasty moment is on my first bite. My first bite, I take it, it tastes wonderful. Great. On my second bite, on my third bite, on my fourth bite, the pleasure is always getting less and less and less and less. Until I finished half the plate, but I'm not eating because it tastes good. I'm eating because I just want to fulfill it. I want to finish my plate, or I want to make my mom happy. Okay? But I've lost the taste before the food finished. Okay, so try this exercise tonight or tomorrow. Don't eat anything, really get hungry, get your favorite food. After a few bites, the pleasure goes. Now, it's like this with every desire. So it's a problem. And what are we going to do about that? Because even if I'm rich, even if I'm famous, even if I'm the prime minister, even if I'm the king of the planet, okay? If this is my nature, I can never be happy. Because no matter what I do or what I want, the minute I get it, the pleasure and the desire, they cancel each other out. I'm left with nothing. Why do rich people get more depressed? I have everything. If I have everything, I have no desire for anything. Even if I have a desire for something, the minute I get it, it's cancelled. So rich people are more in depression. Okay? It's not a coincidence. So we want to get rich, but you know, Kabbalists are saying, be careful what you wish for. Okay? Because it doesn't necessarily make you happy. So we need to understand, okay, our nature is to want to be happy, but how are we going to be happy? If whatever I want in life comes to me, and then the pleasure is cancelled and the desire is cancelled, I have to keep chasing things all my life. Like a dog running around after its tail. My whole life goes by chasing something so I can discover how to be happy. Won't work. Not gonna happen. The reason we chase all the time is because we don't know this law and we don't understand this law. And even if somebody tells us tomorrow we want to forget about it and still chase whatever this world has. I still want to go after money, power, I want to be famous, even though somebody tells me. Why? Because our nature is on autopilot. It just wants. And it wants what it sees. Okay, so after this lecture, we're going to go out. You guys are going to be on the way home, or you're going to be meeting friends on the way out. What's going to happen? You're going to see things on the street. And when you do, you can say, oh, I want that. Oh, I wish I had that. Okay? Because this is how life works. And that's just how it is. So what we have to do is we have to come to an understanding that living like this is just not a solution. So Abraham started to teach people, just like Adam. He said, listen guys, you can live like this. You can chase everything in life and end up still depressed. Or we can find a new way of being happy, which is directed towards the purpose of life. So Abraham taught the people, some of the people who wanted to listen to him, that the best way to be happy is, guess what? Can you guess? Does anybody love somebody? Wife, children? Yeah? Come on, tell them, do me a favor, say yes. Yes, we love somebody. Okay. Abraham taught that the only thing that can really make us happy is the special connection between people. And we don't really understand that because we think we love people or we think we're in connection with people. So Abraham said to the guys who were listening, I said, listen, if we run around our worldly desires all the time, we're just going to end up depressed. And this is what happened to humanity. Now, from this depressed moment, depressed state, we can now come to discover how we can get out of it according to how we should be happy according to our nature. Okay, is Zoom still working or is it frozen? Okay, so hopefully we'll get you guys back on the air. Are you guys back on the air? Yes. Okay, where did you lose me?
We're back. Yeah.
You're back. Where did you lose me?
From Abraham.
From Abraham. Let's start with this question again. Let me just do a quick summary. If you can't hear me, just raise your hands and do this. Okay, so I know you can't hear me, and then I'll stop. So Abraham decided to teach the people there. He said, listen guys, if we don't change the way we use our nature, all right, we're going to end up depressed. And we're going to run around after these pleasures that we have, which are very small in life. I mean, what's our pleasure in life? A piece of food that my mum made, okay? What was the name of that food again? Podoko? Yeah? Adobo, okay. Adobo. Did I get it right? Okay, so I can chase my life eating my favorite food or chasing other desires in this world. If I want to be the prime minister or, I don't know, the president, if I want to be rich, I can chase these things. Abraham said, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. We should have a good life, he said. That's not a problem. It's good to have these things. But he said, because we're not getting pleasure all the time, even though we have these things, we have a problem. So he taught people there that there is only one way for people to be happy in life all the time. And that's if you have good friends. Do you guys have good friends? Yeah? I hope so. Okay. Yeah? I hope so. All right. Hopefully we're not frozen again. Are we frozen? Or dead? Yeah? Okay. I don't know how we're going to fix this. Is it the internet? Okay, I'll carry on. I'll carry on to talk. So Abraham said there's only one way to be really happy, and that's with good connections with people. Like when we have good friends or when we have family that we love. Because he said, in life, although our nature is to want and to receive pleasure, he said there's also a second nature in life. There's also another way to use our nature. And that second way to use our nature is being in a good connection with people so that together we can build this warm connection and help each other out, and through that connection we can be happy. Did you guys lose me again?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. That's the internet. Okay, let's just pray we'll get better. Okay, now let me start again where we left off. Do you guys have good friends? Yes, somebody you love? Yeah? Yeah, okay, everybody does, right? We have kids, we have wives, family, somebody. Come on, you guys, come on, tell me there's somebody in life. Okay, so we all have somebody. So Abraham said, listen, although we want to get things in life, actually, the place that we are happy most is when we're with people that we care about, that we love. So the biggest decision, Abraham said, was what kind of friends am I going to choose? Because if I choose myself good friends, I'm going to have a good life. If I choose for myself bad friends, I'm going to have a bad life. Okay? This is what my mother told me. Actually, what my grandmother told me. Okay? When I was small, she said, choose your friends well. Okay? So I think everybody's mum gave the same advice. So Abraham said the same thing. Really, literally. So those people who wanted to be good friends, they all decided, okay, let's get out of Babylon because this place is a mess. It's like New York, it's just a big mess. So they decided to come out, and they decided to make a group of friends from each other, and they decided to, yeah, no sound? No sound? Can you guys hear me?
No signal.
Signals? Oded, how are we doing? Everything is working or not?
That's good now. No, it's working now.
Okay, great. Okay. You have a question?
No.
Okay.
Just give me the mic.
Okay.
I just asked your staff, the signal is tweet.
Okay. Oded, when they're asking a question I can't hear from here, how can you turn the volume up? Okay. If you need to ask a question, guys, if you need to ask a question, you need to hold the microphone close so I can hear from here, okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is what happened. So Abraham took his good friends from Babylon, and they started coming together like a big family, and they started to learn about their nature and the laws of the general nature. And they discovered that although we are a desire to receive pleasure, okay, that all of us want to be happy in life, okay, Abraham discovered that, well, we can all be happy in life, but you know what? If I have somebody next to me that I love or I care about, okay, by having a good relationship with that person, I can be even more happier. That's true. This is what they discovered. They discovered that if people care about each other, when they do good things to each other, they become more happier than just receiving. Anybody has children? Yes? Okay. Okay. You guys know that when you buy a present for your child, the child is happy, but you are more happier than the child. Correct?
Yes.
Correct. So this is what Abraham discovered. He said, wait a minute. If I received the toy, I received some happiness, but when I got the toy, the happiness and the toy, they cancel each other out. But because I gave the toy to my son or to my friend or to my neighbor, it doesn't matter. And because there's a good relationship between us, I'm actually more happy because I gave them happiness because we care about each other. And he said that kind of happiness doesn't get cancelled. Okay? Because when you do good to somebody, you always remember it, right? And it makes you happy. Am I correct? He said that kind of happiness doesn't go away. Now here's the trick. Okay? Here's the trick, because this is the whole trick. Okay? How to have everything together so we're happy with what we're having, and we can build through this connection between us a higher level of consciousness so we can perceive the whole of reality. Okay, so we're going to go step by step. Now Abraham discovered, like Adam, just like Adam, Abraham discovered that there is this force called the Creator. You know, in religious books they call him God. Anybody religious? Yeah? It's okay if you're religious. Say, yeah, in religion they call him God. Okay? So Abraham discovered the same thing. He said, but he discovered it. Okay? He didn't like believe what people told him. He discovered it. He felt him. just like Adam felt him. Now the purpose of our life is also to feel the Creator or God, doesn't matter, let's call him God. Okay, you can call him God, Allah, Elohim, Creator, it doesn't matter. There's only one force. Abraham connected to this force and he began to live his life in that connection with the Creator. This is what makes Abraham special. So Abraham understood that there is a purpose in life, and that purpose is to connect with this upper force, this Creator. And he discovered how he could do that. When he discovered the Creator, he discovered that the way the Creator approaches us is like a loving father to his children. That's what he discovered. But when he discovered it, it wasn't something he just believed that it was like that. He revealed that there is a force, a Creator, that he felt that was working with him. Right now, we don't see a Creator between us, okay? But next to each of you, there is somebody sitting, right? Touch him, give him a hand, touch him so you feel him, yeah? Touch the next person next to you. Imagine, that's right. Now imagine, okay, yeah, touch him. Yeah, that's it. Now imagine you were that close to the Creator himself. Because that's what revelation means. Revelation isn't something like airy-fairy or what we believe in books. This is the difference between Kabbalah and many religions. Because religions make us believe that this is how it is. And Kabbalah say, no, it's not how it is until I feel that person. It's not how it is until I feel the Creator, until I understand the Creator. How can I have a relationship with the Creator if I don't discover the Creator? How can I have a relationship with God if I can't hear him, if I can't see him, if I can't touch him? This is what Abraham was teaching. He said, listen, we need to feel this Creator inside us. We need to feel him, that he is with us. No? Again? How's now? Yeah? So Abraham taught. No? No sound? 1, 2? Okay.
Yeah, it's clear now.
Okay.
It's good.
Great. Okay, lovely. So Abraham taught everyone that was with him that we need to feel this Creator just like we feel our friends around us. He needs to be that much felt. Now, this is the difference between Kabbalah, spirituality in Kabbalah, and religion. Okay. There we go. Yeah? So, this sensation of the Creator is something that we must attain together. Because we don't see the Creator, we don't see God, we don't feel God, for us it's imagination. And Abraham said, our next level is to go beyond our imagination. Is to be really connected with the Creator, just like any of our friends sitting next to us right now. Our connection must be that strong. It must be that clear. And this is the method that he taught. This is why it's different from religions, because in religions they tell us we must believe something. But Kabbalists say, no, how can I just believe what they tell me? Okay, are we good? Sound coming through? Okay, great. So Abraham taught, how can I just believe people because they told me? That's not called belief, because everybody's telling something else. Who am I going to believe? So Abraham said, we must believe if we discover the Creator. If we don't discover Him, we're just going to end up believing what other people tell us. So the wisdom of Kabbalah is a method that allows us to feel the Creator, to feel God, to understand Him, to know why He is doing everything to us, so that we can be compatible to Him in our nature. This is why the first most important thing is to understand our own nature, and then understand the Creator's nature, and then we can become compatible to Him. Just like when our children are growing up. When our children are growing up, they don't know how to relate to us. But as they grow up, they begin to learn how to relate to us. And when our children have their own children, they understand us even better. Because now they're in our shoes. Okay, can you guys relate to that? Yeah? If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. If not, soon you'll have kids, then you'll understand. Okay? So when our children become fathers as well, they tell us that when we smacked them or when we shouted at them, they understand us when they become fathers, because they understand what they have to do to their children. So when we look at our life, sometimes we see bad things happen to us. Sometimes we see bad things happen to the world, to everybody in humanity. Okay, we're all in the same hole. We're all in the same cooking pot. So the Kabbalists say, well, we need to get to the level of the Creator so we can understand why He's doing this to us. Right now, because we don't have this dialogue, we don't have this understanding, we don't know what's going on. So the whole teaching of the wisdom of Kabbalah and what Abraham taught was how we, all of us, can connect, and we have to, by the way, connect with this Creator so that we can understand what's going on in life and what the meaning of our life is, so we can come to that meaning. Just like we raise our children to grow up, the Creator wants to raise us as well, so that we can be like Him. Just like we want our children to grow up and to be a good adult. So our biggest problem is, because we don't feel the Creator, we don't see why He's doing the things He's doing to us. And through the wisdom of Kabbalah, we can all come to this understanding about why He does things to us. Yeah? That's the whole wisdom. Up to here, do you guys have any questions? No? I'm either teaching really good today, or there's, or there's something, or the broadcast is terrible. Okay, cool. All right. And the wisdom of Kabbalah, therefore, developed through thousands of years among groups of people. And because our nature is a desire to receive for ourselves, our nature works egoistically. You know, we're by nature egoistic. We think of ourselves first. And because spirituality and the wisdom of Kabbalah relates to thinking about or connecting with other people, it's not very easy for people to relate to it. So a lot of people in life just carried on living with their own nature, our egoistic desire to receive. But now in the 21st century, what we can see around the world is that everybody around the world is going through a lot of problems. And everybody doesn't know how to really continue with life. Even in the most developed countries, in Europe, in America, in countries like Australia. By the way, I'm also Australian. In countries like Australia, for example, it's a beautiful country, it's a beautiful life, everything is very organized. but we have one of the highest teenage suicide rates. It's hard to imagine, because you have such a nice country, everything is great. Why do you want to, finish it off? Because we don't have a solution to the way that our life is going. We don't understand how to be happy, and we don't understand the meaning behind our lives. So we're stuck in the swamp. And life, although we want it to get better all the time, with every new generation, we want life to get better and better and better. The only thing that gets better is how much suffering more comes to the world. That's the only, how can that happen? There's more suffering coming to the world. That's what happens every generation. We want generations to get better. We want a better future for our children. This is why we work, we try to make the world better. But every time we try to make things better, it just gets worse. And it feels like, there's no solution. And this is where humanity is right now. Humanity is in a situation where all the leaders in the world, they don't know which direction to go. So in the future years, we'll see the economy all around the world going down and down and down. We're going to see many more disasters, natural disasters. Like in Australia now, half of Australia is like burning with bushfires. California is in bushfires. You guys had mudslides, I think, in the Philippines. The whole world, there's terrorism everywhere. There's terrorism in the Middle East, terrorism in Europe. We're all suffering from the same things in life, because the whole of humanity now is in that same cooking pot. Before, we could run away. Okay, before, if there was something bad in my country, I could run away somewhere else. Like me, right? I was in Turkey. I wasn't very happy in Turkey. So I ran away to Australia. Okay? And then, I discovered there's nowhere to run to. Okay? Because my nature is the same nature. It's not about the country. It's about me. I have to change. Okay? So I understood that it doesn't help where you run. You can run to heaven, but the current nature that we're in, it's unless that changes, we cannot be happy. It doesn't work. So the whole wisdom of Kabbalah will have to teach the whole of humanity how we can come to a better life by attaining a higher level of consciousness in this study that we have to do together on how to change our nature so that we can use our nature correctly. And not run around like a dog chasing its tail and end our lives just like that. And because the whole of humanity is now developing, we all came to that state, whole of humanity. You go to the United States today, people are in despair. They don't know what to do. Same in Europe. They don't know what to do. Okay? Scandinavian countries have the best standard of life and the highest rate of suicides. It just doesn't make sense. Why? It's not because there's a bad life there. It's because our nature doesn't, if we don't use it properly, it doesn't give us the ability to be happy. So this is what we must discover, all of us together. And just like the example I gave a while ago, if you imagine the last time you were really happy, you'll probably understand that the last time you were happy was when you did something with people you liked or you loved. Like when you went to a picnic with the family, or you went out with your wife or your girlfriend or your husband. No sound? Am I back? Yeah? Okay, great. So if you look back at the last moment when you were happy, you'll discover that it was with somebody that you cared about, or you liked, or you loved. Even if you get your favorite car today, okay? Let's say you got the best car in the world today. Your happiness, according to science, okay, is 3 months. After 3 months, the taste of a good car just goes away. But if you look at the connection you have with people, the connection you have with your loved ones, that connection stays. It just stays. Doesn't go away. 3 months, 3 years, 30 years, doesn't matter. It stays. So Abraham said, this is the kind of happiness we should be going after, because there's no end to it. It's infinite. However, he said, wouldn't it be great if we could add to that our sensation and togetherness with the Creator, so that we could live in a dimension beyond our bodies. So our bodies, let's say, are here. Okay? Let's say all of us are living, we're all living in our bodies right now, right? Okay, here we go. All of us are here in our bodies. And we know that our body has a lifespan. You know, it's like something on the supermarket. You look at it, it has an expiry date. This is how our bodies are. But Abraham said, we're not created to be living here. We are actually created so we can live in a higher level of existence. But the way to get there is by starting here. This is why this world was created. So we can start together, work on something to attain this relationship with the Creator. And then we can all exist here, all of us together, in a happy state. Okay. Am I back? Am I back? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay, great. So I'll just go over that again. So the Kabbalah said, Abraham said, listen, instead of living here, okay, this is where we are. You are here. Okay? Instead of living here, we need to feel like we live here. Higher level. Okay? Now we need to live here while we're still in our bodies. Okay? While we live in this world, we have to feel the Creator in this life, in this world. Now, when I was raised with religion, because, you know, we all come from a religious background somehow or some way or another, they told us that we have to be good, and then afterwards, when we die, we go to heaven or hell, if you're good or bad, right? So the Kabbalists say, no way. No such thing. How can that be? Okay, how can that be? It's not possible. And so they say, and the reason why is this. When we have children, okay, and let's say they're naughty children, okay, they're naughty, we don't put them onto the frying pan, okay? Whether our child is naughty or good, we love them. So the Kabbalists are saying, listen, the purpose of life is something we must attain while we're living in this world. And the purpose of that life, this life that we're living here, is to discover the Creator. So this higher level is called discovering the Creator. While we're in this world, okay? In this life. Together, all of us together. That's what we need to do. This is the purpose of our life. And the Kabbalists say, listen, there is only one way to get there. First, we have to understand what we are. Then we need to understand what the Creator is. And this difference between us, this gap, we have to close this gap between us. And that's called the study of Kabbalah. How are we going to do that is the question. Right? How are we going to discover the Creator, right? Is that a good question? That sounds like a good question to me. So how are we going to discover the Creator? Well, people like Adam, Noah, Abraham, a lot of Kabbalists like Baal HaSulam, Rabash, like Ariel told you before, discovered the Creator. And they say the way to discover the Creator while you're living in this life is very easy. It's very easy. All you have to do is this. Let's say we divide our lives, okay? So this is where we're living right now in this world. How many people are you there at the moment? Yeah, how many? Let's draw that many people. Okay. Are you a 10? Is there a 10? Okay. I'll just draw. I didn't hear that, but no problem. Okay, so let's draw all of us together. Now the Kabbalists are saying if there are a group of people who are together, okay, and they study the wisdom of Kabbalah, okay, if we all study together, we study, just like at university, okay, just like if we want to be a doctor, we go to school. So the Kabbalists are saying, listen, you want to be a Kabbalist, you have to learn how to be a Kabbalist. And a Kabbalist means a person who can feel the Creator. So the Kabbalists are saying, if you're a group of people who want to study the wisdom of Kabbalah in order to attain the Creator, then you can come to feel the Creator very quickly. So first, we study together the wisdom of Kabbalah. And then what happens is we understand who we are. Let's do this. So the first thing we understand is, who am I? Who am I and what am I? This is the first thing we need to know and understand. That's our nature. Then we have to study the nature of the Creator. Who is He? And what is He? And the greatest question you probably all have is, what does He want from me? Okay, and because we don't know the answer to this question, we suffer in life. Because we just don't understand what the Creator wants from me. What do you want from me? Okay? This is the whole wisdom of Kabbalah. And if we study this together, all of us, over time, will come to this feeling and sensation that amongst us there is a force called the Creator. Now we use the word Creator in Kabbalah because we understand that outside of me there is a force that created me and created the whole of reality. So that's why we call Him the Creator. Right, how are we going so far? Any questions? If you have questions, maybe you can write them to me. Okay? And then maybe I can read them from here where they can send on the chat, because I couldn't hear you very well. Okay? But that's the whole wisdom of Kabbalah. Now, who can study Kabbalah? That's a question. Can we all study Kabbalah? Do you need any special talents to study Kabbalah? Do you have to be Einstein? No. Anybody who wants to study the wisdom of Kabbalah in order to achieve this higher level of consciousness can study. You don't need to be in a special religion. You don't need to be in a special IQ level. You don't need any special talents. Anybody around the world, whoever wants to study Kabbalah, can study Kabbalah, because we are all the children of the Creator. Everybody. So there is nobody more special than the other person. If I have 5 kids, I look at them all as special. They're all my kids. You know, I don't tell 2 of my kids they're great and you 3 are just awful. Okay? I don't, it's not like that. I tell them I love them all and I make sure that they all grow up nicely. So all of us in the world, the whole of humanity, is actually in this state where we can all come, we all have this opportunity to come and feel the Creator while we're living in this life. You don't have to believe anything, you have to come to feel it. And that's called attaining the Creator, to understand, to know and to feel Him, just like you understand and you know and you feel yourself. Right then, if there are you guys got any questions? Any questions at all? Ariel, you can send them to me in the chat if you like, or on the microphone if I can hear you, great. I couldn't hear you a minute ago. Okay. There we go. If anybody has a question, I'm more than happy to answer. If not, I can talk. Okay. Okay. Great, we have a question. I can't hear, Oded. I got no sound. Just a second, 1 second. I can't hear. Yeah, again.
There's a question here.
Okay, great. I can hear you. Great.
I have a question.
Now I can't hear them. לא שומע. No. No.
Good. Okay. In order to answer the questions, who am I or what am I? What practices do you practice in Kabbalah? To answer the questions, who am I or what am I? In order to be one with, to feel the Creator, right? What exactly, do you have any practices that you do to be able to answer the questions, who am I, what am I, and then eventually feel the Creator, to know what the Creator wants from me? That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So what do we have to do? Okay, that's great. Let's do this. You know what? That's a really nice question, so let's just write it down. What do I have to do? Okay, when I was growing up, okay, Dad said you have to go to school. Okay? And I said, oh, okay, that's exciting, because I didn't know what school was. After I went to school, it's a different story. But he said, you know, we have to go and we have to learn about life, about how to grow up, how to live in this world. Because if you don't go to school and you don't know how to read and write, if you don't know how to add and subtract, you can't live your life here. This is what he said. So, okay, so that's logical. That's logical. I have to read, write, know what to do in life. Cool. So the Kabbalists say the same thing. The first thing we have to do is study. So a Kabbalah, this is why they wrote to us so many books. Okay, the Kabbalists wrote, so all the books of Kabbalists are very, very, very detailed. But it's not difficult. They're just describing to us this reality that we're living in and how we can get out of the way we see reality and start seeing reality like the Creator. So the first thing we have to do is to study. We have to learn about ourselves. Now, you can start to learn in the Philippines because we have education center lessons. Education center, okay, lessons. And Ariel can probably give you information on that. For example, every Tuesday in the evening here, I teach Africa and Europe. So maybe we can, there are also friends who teach US. So depending on what time is better for the Philippines, we can maybe, invite you to study with us, to learn with us. So that's one thing we can do. No? Can you hear me now? Wait, let's get back into the air. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? No? No sound? Yes sound or no? Oded? Okay. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Yeah? Yes, you can? No sound? Okay, okay. There's no sound at the moment. Trying to connect, but I think it's their end, yeah? Okay. So let me know if you can hear me, please. Yes? Okay, great. Okay, so what do we have to do? Let's just recap. So we can sit and learn together, okay? And what we do, we have an education center, and there are lessons there, education center lessons. You can all join online, and you can listen to the lessons, you can start to learn. We have to start somewhere, okay? And the whole topic of the wisdom of Kabbalah is actually to learn through studying. And then, as we learn things, what you will discover is that changes in feeling and understanding. This is what will happen. Just like when kids are growing up in school, they begin to feel and understand this world. Yeah? Well, in spirituality, when we study Kabbalah, we begin to feel and understand the spiritual world. It's the same thing, because our world, when the Creator created this world, He made it like a copy. Everything is like copy-paste. Okay? So this is why we have this world. We have a lot of people, and in spirituality we have a lot of parts in the soul, and so on. So the most important thing is to come and start to learn. So we then, from the studying and the learning, we then begin to understand what we need to do. Because we don't have things like they do in religions. Yeah, we don't go and do all these ceremonies like they do in religions. We don't. Because our work is more like science. We want to, okay, how do you know if your friend is good or bad? You know from the relationship you have, right? If he does something bad to you, you say he's a bad friend. I don't like him. If he does something good, you say he's one of my good friends. Why? Because you understand your friend through your relationship. Okay? So the Kabbalists say the way we can understand the Creator is how he created and how he relates to us through what happens in this world. Just like things happen to us between people, and we define people according to that relationship, the Kabbalists say, well, if we study our reality, we can relate to how this reality works. And from that, we can define what the Creator is doing and why He's doing. So our work is it's very practical. It's very practical. It's very easy to do with a group of friends, and it's more scientific because it brings us to understand why things were done, created, made, how they work in this specific way. And it comes to us through understanding the essence of our nature and the essence of the whole of creation. So this is why it's a study process. It's a special study process, but we're doing it. A lot of people around the world are doing it, and there's no reason why any of you can't do it either. Maybe your times are more suited to the education lessons we have in the United States, or also you can join, if you like, our Tuesday evening lessons, but they're going to be in an awkward time for the Philippines because it's 9 p.m. here, so it'll be like a bad time for you guys in the Philippines. It'll be in the middle of your sleep. You'll be in the middle of a dream when I'm teaching here. So but maybe we can do something. So it all depends on if a person wants to study or not. Okay? If a person wants to study, there's always something that we arrange for people to study. And I see that you guys are all at least there's 10 or 15 people there, so that's already great because you have some friends to study with. You guys can come together, get together, and can learn together. But it all depends on the individual. And as we study, you will begin to change from within. This is why in Kabbalah we don't have a lot of things where you tell people what to do and how to do. Like in religions, we don't have that. You need to do this, you need to pray like this. We don't have. A person, like children grow from their nature, a person must also grow from within his nature. Did I lose you there again? Okay. Are you guys... Okay, let me know if you're back. Okay, obviously we have a bit of a sour connection today. Yeah? Okay, am I back? Because you guys froze on the screens. Okay. Where did I lose you guys? Okay, so if we study together, and there are an good amount of people there, if we all study together, we can advance together. Like children in school, like how they grow up, they learn, and as they learn, they change. Same with spirituality. As we learn, as we study the laws of nature, we discover ourselves. We discover where we need to change ourselves. And all of this is an internal discovery. It's a person's internal life. So Kabbalah actually makes our lives very, very rich. We begin to see ourselves with all of the details that we never saw before. And you'll understand that as you study Kabbalah, you didn't even know yourself, let alone the world, because it allows us to discover all the details of our nature and how we can make adjustments. And those adjustments actually allow us to have a better life while we live here. And all our problems in life is because we don't adjust ourselves to life. We expect life to change for us. It doesn't work that way. It needs to work the other way. So a person needs to start changing to match himself or herself to life. In other words, to the Creator. We need to match ourselves to the Creator to understand ourselves. And that's it. Very easy. Any questions? Okay. If I come to the Philippines, I want some odobong. Okay. You guys got me hungry now. I haven't had breakfast.
It's adobo.
You have to write that name for me because I have to read it to pronounce it. Okay. There we go. Odobo. Okay, odobo. Okay, fine. Okay, there's a question. I'm happy to hear. Okay, so if somebody has a question, we're good to go. Is the mic working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last question.
Nobody wants to ask a question.
Nobody wants to ask a question? Okay, that's all right. How about I ask you guys a question?
I've done one.
It's a question.
Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. A bit louder, but yes.
Okay. How long will it take a person studying Kabbalah to attain that relationship with the Creator?
That's a very nice question.
How many years does it have to study? Was it months or years?
It's a very nice question. Are you a good student?
I don't know.
You're not.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a problem. Okay, look, you know, I'll be honest with you. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Attaining the Creator, if you I'm not going to say it's impossible. It's not impossible. It's possible. This is what we have to do in life. Okay, is it difficult? It's not difficult. It depends on just one thing, actually. Okay, it depends on my effort, and this effort doesn't need to drive you mad or anything. Like, you know, it's not something like we're not building a rocket ship here. It just depends on a person's effort and desire. Now, we're a desire to receive pleasure. Okay? So imagine for yourself this. How much desire do I need to have to attain the Creator so I can get this done? Because in life, you might have a desire, I don't know. Tell me, what is the thing you want most in life? Tell me, what do you really want in life? You don't know? Come on, if you don't know. See, if you don't know, that's good. See, this is where we are in life. That's where we're at. We don't know.
To be happy.
To be happy, okay. To be happy, that's good. If you really want to be happy, first of all, we have to come and study and understand what it means to be happy. And why our nature, the way it is not happy. This is very easy to learn. I can teach this to you just like that, okay? We go through 1 semester, 2 semester, 3 semesters, you're done. Teach you how to do it. Question is, will you do it? Now that's your end, okay? Just like in life, our parents grow us up, okay? They raise us, they send us to school. They give us all the tools that we need to survive in life. I can do all that to you, 2-3 months. Question is, are you going to go and do it? To grow up in life, okay, so to learn is not a problem. But to grow up in life, as you know, it takes time. Our children, although we want them to grow up and be smart, you know, fast and strong, it takes time for them to grow. You can't have a baby and have him become 10 years old, 20 years old in 2-3 days. It takes time to be wise. It takes time to attain wisdom. The beautiful thing about Kabbalah is under the right study circumstances, you can advance very fast. And you can advance in a matter of a few days. You can advance in a matter of a few years. So it depends on how a person studies. It depends to his understanding on how he wants to get this done. I've been studying since I was, 31 years old. So I'm 46 now, okay? So 15, 16 years I've been studying, and I've been teaching for the past, 8 years now. So if you study well, and if you're serious, you can do fast things in a short amount of time. But we also, on the other hand, need to understand that until we become, until we're adults and we stand on our two legs, how long does it take? 20 years, 25 years? Yeah, we grow up, we start to work, make our own money, have our own family, start to take care of ourselves independently. It takes time, doesn't it? And same in spiritual life as well. Spiritual life is not like a hobby. I don't go and pick up a guitar and start playing the guitar in 2 months, I'm done. Spirituality is a complete transformation of how I see everything in life, and I bring this dream reality that we live in, that we're just transiently passing by it, into a truth where I can live inside that reality at a higher level of consciousness forever. So that transformation is going to take time. We're going to turn from caterpillars into butterflies, but it's going to take a time where a person needs to study, he needs to make efforts. Just like if I want to be a good doctor, it's not enough just to go to medical school. I have to really work at becoming a great doctor at that medical school. So it depends on you. This is why I asked if you're a good student. But we're required, you have to invest some years in it for sure. But if we came to study, the Kabbalists say, look, I'll give you a nice tip. The Kabbalists tell us, if a person was brought to discover the meaning of life, he can take care of it in this life. He can do it. Because it's not logical otherwise for a person to come and do it. We don't give our children things they can't do. So if a person has this authentic desire to really discover the meaning of life, discover the whole of creation, it's a sign that he can do it. Life will not give us something we can't do. Just like we don't give our children at the age of 5 to solve some quantum physics problem that a PhD professor can hardly solve. We don't. And Kabbalah, spirituality is very easy. Once you get to learn it, if I can do it, all of you guys can do it for sure. The whole planet can. If I can do it, all of you can. You don't need to be a special guy. You don't need talents or whatever. It's very practical, easy study. It just requires, like everything in life, commitment. That's what it requires. If I want to be a good doctor, if I want to be a good father, if I want to be a good anything, I need to be committed. And same here. It's like, because we're building a relationship with the Creator. Imagine building a relationship with your wife and husband. When you first meet, it's chemistry. But after 20, 30, 40 years together, when you walk through life together with all the hardships, all the problems, but you are together, that's called a relationship. At first, it's not a relationship. It's like, you see them on the street. Cats, they sniff each other. They go, and they like each other. That's how we meet our partners, right? They smell nice, like cats and dogs. It's not relationship. It's not love yet. After many years, we're together. We walk through life with all the, problems and this and that, but we didn't leave each other. After 30, 40 years, then you say, oh, we've got love. That's how it works. The Creator is no different. If we want to connect with the Creator, if we want to relate with Him, He wants commitment. Because He says, listen, if we're going to be partners, it's like business partners. If we're going to be partners, it's got to be 50-50. I do some stuff, you do some stuff. And this is how it is. We must learn from life. In life, this is why Kabbalah is so practical. It really is to build this relationship with the Creator is just like building relationships in life. This is why everything we do in life is actually based on relationships. Everything. The farmer has to grow the food. The mining worker has to mine the goods. Another person has to cook the food. The other person has to bring the food to the market. The other person has to make the clothes. All of us in life are actually connected with everything. We depend on others for growing the food. We depend on people to make our clothes. And they depend on us to do things for them. And the whole of creation is just bringing everything like a jigsaw puzzle and making that correct relationship to everything. And that's how it is. That doesn't sound so hard. It isn't. Really. Sometimes it's like a fantasy. How am I going to discover the Creator? Well, how do you discover your dad? Your dad is not just a piece of meat. As you grow up, you discover his personality, you discover his character, you discover what he likes, what he doesn't like. You start to talk to him more, in a way that he's going to be good, and so on. You begin to build that relationship. And that connection between you and Dad, after many years, become a connection. That's it. Same with the Creator. Right now we're little babies and we don't know in whose arms we are. But we can start to grow. We can make these little growing attempts and we can begin to build that spiritual reality. And it's not a problem. Now we're coming up to 9:30. I didn't get a lot of questions, but if you guys have questions at all about how to study, how to carry on studying, Ariel can take your details. We can send you an email about our education center lessons and courses. And if you feel like this is something you want to do, you can start. Is the sound gone? Yep. Okay, did you lose me? Or did you guys hear everything I said?
No, we're back.
You're okay.
You
So I was just wondering if you guys we're coming towards the end of the lesson. So if any of you feel like this is something you'd like to learn or taste, take a look at. Okay, you can give Ariel your contact details if you like, and then they can, we can take your contact details. And if you want, we have education center courses. There are also courses that are virtual. You can just study on your own, self-study in English, or if you don't mind, coming to a lesson in the late night at your time, you can join our Tuesday evening lessons when I'm teaching Europe and Africa. So we have a few time zones. There are people who are teaching the US as well. Maybe that's more convenient for you when they teach the US. I don't know. But worst case scenario, there are always lessons online where you can follow and start the study. And as you study, you can see how you go. All right. If you have any questions, we still have time. But if not, you know, you can. If you want to take a leap forward, if you want to do a study, Ariel can take your details and see how you go. See how you go. You know, you don't have to. If you feel it's not for you, you don't have to carry on. It's something, if you want to do, you can add to your life. Okay. Ariel, is there anything you guys need from me?
Thank you so much, Matlu, for this wonderful lecture. And I will turn over to Mario for the introduction for the for the next step for the Kabbalah course. Thank you so much, Matlu.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. All the best. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
you.